61 in Cooperstown, 62 in Lake Pleasant, and we've lost the cloud cover that we had around for much of the afternoon. This sets the stage for a lot more sun by the end of the work week. Your full forecast is in just a bit. Eyewitness News starts right now.
Local news that matters. This is Eyewitness News, first at 10.
First at 10, a scandal within the Utica Fire Department now creating tension between Common Council members and City Mayor. We'll have the details. A teacher and a teacher's aide arrested after reports of excessive discipline used. What the Oneida County Sheriff is saying regarding that investigation. The area experienced tragic flooding nearly a year ago. Officials continue the conversation to make sure it doesn't keep happening. Good evening, I'm Grace Fernandez. Thanks for joining us. Controversy within the Utica Fire Department and now tensions rising at Utica City Hall between Common Council members and Mayor Rob Palmieri. Eyewitness News reporter Marley Tuskus explains.
As Public Safety Commissioner, Mayor Rob Palmieri works closely with both the Utica Police Department and Fire Department, which is why he was one of the first people Deputy Chief Mark Ambrose told about illicit text messages between his son, who was interested in becoming a firefighter, and temporary Chief John Kelly.
In reference to Chief Ambrose coming to me, that happened, I believe, on March 14th at roughly 11:45, 12 o'clock. I believe it was on a Wednesday. He came in and he sat down and he spoke with me. And then he indicated to me that he had some text messages that he took some pictures of.
From there, Palmieri says he contacted Corporation Counsel Bill Borrell and Utica Police Chief Mark Williams to conduct an investigation into these claims.
Immediately at that point, there was an ongoing investigation into it with professional standards.
Within the past week, both Councilman Joe Marino and Councilwoman Samantha Colosimo Testa sent letters to the mayor asking why this was kept from the public for so long if he knew about it for months.
From what I understand, and it's shown to be true, the mayor's known about this for almost 4 months. Meanwhile, all parties involved, there's been no disciplinary action whatsoever.
But Palmieri says there was no way for him to control the timeline of the investigation, as several factors determined how long internal affairs would take.
Whether it took 2 months, 3 months, that was up to them. They had a number of talking to roughly, I think, 6 different individuals, and at times they talked to some of them twice, maybe 3 times. So once that they compiled the results, that's when it was.
But Marino says this incident shows the mayor should step down from his role as Public Safety Commissioner.
People need to be able to go and speak to the mayor as the Public Safety Commissioner and feel comfortable and confident that something will happen. Now, clearly, it won't.
We're very proactive. We do what we feel is correct. I think if you look at everything that's gone by over the last 6 years, we've proven that, you know what, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But we have a zero tolerance.
In Utica, Marley Tuskus, Eyewitness News, first at 10.
While Kelly announced earlier this week he was stepping down as fire chief, he will still remain as deputy chief. When asked if there's a chance Kelly will resign from the Utica Fire Department completely, Palmieri said he was unsure at this time. The Utica Common Council had their Public Safety Committee meeting tonight. Their members decided to hold a separate meeting regarding the UFD incident within the week, instead focusing tonight on negotiations between the Utica Police Department and the city for a new contract. Part of this would be a proposal that UPD officers would be allowed to live outside of city limits.
The mayor negotiated it, and he really negotiated, and now he sent it to the council, and the council wasn't a part of the negotiations, so they're just actually trying to find all the details and if there's a savings, if it's worth changing the referendum this way.
Per the local law, officers who choose to live outside of the Utica city limits can only do so after 5 years of being employed with UPD and must pay $3,000 for a residency offset fee. The Public Safety Committee will discuss this issue again at an upcoming meeting. 2 employees in the Rome City School District have been arrested after reports of using excessive discipline on students. Eyewitness News reporter Ben Dennis has the details.
A teacher and a teacher's aide were arrested today after a report of excessive discipline at a Rome elementary school was investigated by the Oneida County Sheriff's Office.
a person made a report to school staff. Someone was aware of something, saw something that they didn't feel comfortable with.
Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mashel says the report went to the John E. Joy Elementary School administration, who then notified law enforcement. 30-year-old Ashley Rosbach of Rome faces 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child, and 47-year-old Maria Fountain, also of Rome, is facing 1 count of the same charge. Additionally, both employees each face a single charge of second-degree harassment.
3 total incidents reported involving 3 victims. The allegations involve some pushing, and the allegations also involve the use of a water-filled spray bottle for discipline.
Mashel says the 3 victims listed in the investigation are under the age of 10. And through a statement, Rome City School District Superintendent Peter C. Blake says Rosbach and Fountain are on leave and, quote, "The charges, while not condoned by the district and are serious in nature, are merely accusations at this point." Blake goes on to say the district intends to take all prudent steps to ensure student safety. Mashel says Rosbach and Fountain are scheduled to appear in Rome City Court on Friday, June 29th. Reporting in Rome, I'm Ben Dennis, Eyewitness News, First at 10.
Tonight, we continue coverage on a meeting last night in Whitesboro that detailed the plans on a project to fix flooding issues associated with the Sequoia Creek. Eyewitness News reporter Jamie DeLine tells us more.
It's been almost a year since the July 1st flooding that devastated homes in Whitesboro.
It doesn't look like a lot right now, but, you know, the water level is above here.
Gary Manzer is one of the homeowners who lives in the Sequoia Creek floodplain.
We lost everything. I mean, we lost the furnace, the refrigerator.
To prevent this from happening again, Whitestown has created an estimated $11 million plan for flood mitigation.
The main part of this project involves the installation of a series of flood benches along about 1.25 mile stretch of the Sequoia Creek on Commercial Drive. And essentially what a flood bench is an area for water to overflow into in a flooding situation.
Now this mound of dirt behind me is what a flood bench looks like. The town of German Flats is currently installing one here at Fulmer Creek to help prevent flooding.
Sometimes it's hard to imagine that if I just go into the stream and I dig out a little bit next to it, how's that going to make things better? There's bridges that are in the way, there's railroad tracks that are in the way, but you've got to look at it holistically. You got to say over this entire stretch we've added a lot of volume to the floodplain.
Currently $5 million in funding has been secured for the project.
It's our goal to at least start something on town property and our first flood bench or 2 by this fall or early spring next year.
And while many homeowners like Manzer are interested in selling their properties, Whitesboro's mayor says it's unlikely that the town will purchase them.
It's not in our plan to buy out property.
Manzer says he's a bit skeptical of the project.
You know, you got to wait to see if it's going to work. Maybe it will. Who knows?
Reporting Jamie DeLine, Eyewitness News, First at 10.
But Whitesboro wasn't the only area dealing with flooding issues. The town of German Flats, Mohawk, and Ilion have had issues of their own, and they've put this fix to the test. It was back in May when the town began their flood mitigation project, which includes benches on Fulmer Creek.
It's going to consist of 2 flood benches, one on this side of the stream and another one on the leather stocking property that was a buyout property. This one is more on private property that was like through an easement.
The German Flats project will cost around $900,000 and is expected to be completed within the next month. Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News First at 10, a few familiar faces are expanding their horizons into Old Forge. We'll have a first look at the Whisk baking location. And the state steps in to help the Oneida County Jail deal with opioid addiction within the facility. That's next. Stay with us.
This is Eyewitness News, first at 10.
In hopes of fighting opioid addiction, the Oneida County Jail is getting some financial help from the state. $200,000 will help fund substance and disorder treatment efforts inside of the jail and is part of a larger sum of just under $4 million secured in the state budget for next year.
These are the type of programs, these jail-based treatment programs, that hopefully will help beat addiction from those who are serving time. Of trying to confront this scourge in our society and these individuals who are actually incarcerated, that we really want to make sure that we're paying attention to and try to avoid any type of recidivism.
Senator Joe Griffo says officials will work with county mental health experts to develop ways to help inmates that have a history of substance abuse. It's the last day of session and legislators seem eager to get home and wrap up this legislative year. Our Capitol correspondent Morgan Mackay gives us an update on how things are looking.
The teachers union handed out free ice cream today at the Capitol in one last push to get the teacher evaluation bill through the Senate today. The bill that would separate students' test scores from teacher evaluations passed in the Assembly, but a slightly different version was passed in the Senate. Senator John Flanagan's bill would do the same thing, but also includes funding for 100 new charter schools, which the teachers union and the Assembly are strongly against. And the last big thing to be discussed is the gun and school safety bills. The Senate is not a fan of gun restrictions, and the Assembly does not want more guns in schools.
We're trying to make sure that we can get out of here on time, but we also want to make sure that we get everything done that we need to get done.
We're trying to push as many of the local bills that are important to people for their districts, but the major deals, I can't imagine that anything's that important that gets done in the next 12 hours.
Nothing surprises me in an election year. It's just that I think some of the things are going back and forth between the two majorities.
Reporting from the Capitol, I'm Morgan Mackay. Eyewitness News, first at 10.
Many of the big bills like sports gambling look like they're just going to get pushed to next year after elections in November and after the Senate majority power is decided. But we'll continue to update you tonight as the night goes on. Just over 2 weeks until the Boilermaker road race, and the committee that organizes the event is putting in the final touches. Eyewitness News spoke with the new Boilermaker president for an update, and he says there is no room for sign-ups as they capped out at the beginning of the month. But since the race falls on a holiday weekend, some committees have less volunteers. According to Mark Donovan, though, we're still in great shape. Only thing of concern from here on out is the weather.
We've been blessed over the many years of this race. I'd like for that to continue for my first one, and I'm confident we will. But if you haven't experienced it, come on down, join the post party, get a feel for what this is all about.
While the race is on July 8th this year, there are several other events held throughout the year to contribute to the Boilermaker initiative. Still to come on Eyewitness News, first at 10, Smith Post looks to keep pace at home tonight. Highlights are on the way in Eyewitness Sports, but first, a check on the forecast. Rachel.
Well, things were generally pretty quiet for today, and we continue that into your Thursday too, but rain chances will be increasing in the forecast. That's coming up right after the break.
According to Jason, New York is a nationality. I have no idea what that means, but that's what it says on his swag on swag sweatshirt.
Now, your Eyewitness weather forecast.
Some cloud cover today, but otherwise things were generally pretty quiet, and this is going to be the trend through at least the end of the work week until our next storm system brings some changes. Here's a live look in Cooperstown tonight where things are still quiet. We've brought out a lot of the cloud cover that we had from this afternoon. It's sinking to the south. We had a weak disturbance try to bring rain showers into our area, but because we have dry air in place, our dew point at 53 degrees, that's a sign that our air is relatively dry. Any rain shower that tried to make it to the ground didn't make it there. We're at 59 degrees right now in Utica, northeast breeze at 3 miles per hour, down to 61 in Lake Pleasant. We have 60 degrees in Cooperstown and 61 in Oneonta. But a big difference from just 48 hours ago is the dry air has really settled in across all of this area. We're down to a 53-degree dew point in Utica, a 56-degree dew point in Cooperstown, and 54 in Oneonta. It feels comfortable outside, and we're going to keep that going through at least Friday. Now for Saturday and Sunday, we have our next storm system that brings up our rain chances. This is going to be a widespread rain event both days this weekend, but as we head into the overnight, we keep moving the cloud cover that we had from this afternoon to the south and to the east. Now we have a weak cold front just to our north, but by the time it gets to us, it has a lot of dry air to run into, so I think rain showers are out of the question through tonight and tomorrow, and we keep it sunny through Friday. Now again, for Saturday and Sunday, this is when our next storm system brings up a good deal of moisture. It's not going to have a huge impact on our temperatures. So for tonight, we're under clear skies, and it's the clear skies and the relatively calm breeze that allow for our temperatures to fall back into the lower 50s. Now for your Thursday morning, some cloud cover. That's just as a result of the weak cold front to our north. By the time it gets to us, no rain chances. We still have the cloud cover sticking around, but by the afternoon, full out sun across the entire area. That's going to take us into the upper 70s, and we do it all over again for Friday too. Now by Friday afternoon and Friday evening, you will notice that we move in some cloud cover. I think our rain shower chances stay relatively low just because it has to overcome the dry air first. And then we will see rain chances increase overnight Friday into Saturday and stick around for the entire weekend. So for tonight, we drop back to 53 degrees, a few clouds. Otherwise, things are quiet. It's a cool start to tomorrow, but sun takes us into the upper 70s. Lots of sun on tap for Thursday. We do it all over again on Friday, this time adding a couple degrees onto the high temperature, taking us into the lower 80s. Storm system moves in for Saturday and Sunday with highs in the mid 70s there. And then when we get that storm system out of the way for the weekend, that's going to set the stage for a nice start to next week's work week, which will take us into the 70s and eventually 80s by Tuesday and Wednesday. Grace?
Thanks, Rachel. Sports Director Lucas Frankel joins us. Lucas, what can we expect with Joseph Labate?
Well, at the moment, his days in Utica look like they could be numbered, and coming up at Eyewitness Sports first at 10, I'll have all the latest about the future of the longtime Comet. That's next.
It's time for Eyewitness Sports.
They're the only Legion baseball team that's come out on top against Whitestown Post. Tonight, Smith Post took to the field for a home tilt against Helmuth Ingles. They gave Derek Switzer a comfortable lead heading to the 5th. Connor Hooten at the dish for Helmuth Ingles, and he rips one down the line into the left field corner. Cole DeVigden scores, and it's now a 13-8 ball game. But Switzer bounces back to get Joel Cleveland looking. Smith Post answered in the bottom of the inning, first with Damon Campanaro, who lines a single on the left. Ryan Morello comes home, and the lead is back to 6. Later in the inning, 2 on and 2 out for Justin Swavely, and he delivers with a knock to right. Brett Granger and Campanaro score, and Smith Post now leads 16-8. Top 7, Swavely finishes this one off on the mound, and Smith Post wins 17-10. Joseph LeBate days with the Comets could be numbered. He and the Canucks continue to talk about a new contract, but it appears free agency is the most likely scenario. LeBate is coming off an injury-plagued season that saw him miss most of January, and after getting hurt again on February 19th, didn't play another game for the rest of the season. All in all, he scored 6 goals to go along with 5 assists in 39 games. Elsewhere, the Canucks have re-signed goalie Richard Bachman to a 2-year, 2-way contract. He made 31 starts for the Comets last season, backing up Thatcher Demko. He posted an overall record of 13-13-5 and allowed just under 3 goals per game. He originally joined the organization prior to the 2015-16 season. Poland's Jamie Weekly keeps raking in the hardware. The Tornadoes junior softball pitcher was named to the All-State Class D first team for the 2nd straight year. She nearly led Poland to a sectional title, but their hopes came to an end in the semifinals against Fabius Pompey. Weekly went 12-3 this past season and racked up 159 strikeouts. And that is your day in sports. For more, be sure to visit CNYHomepage.com and click Eyewitness Sports. Eyewitness News first at 10. We'll be right back.
Eyewitness News first at 10 continues.
Add a little sweetness to your visits to Old Forge. Bite Bakery and Cafe owners are nearly finished with their newest project. Eyewitness News reporter Julie LeBlanc gives us a first look.
We wanted to keep it separate because we didn't want people to associate whisk with food because we're not doing the food aspect up here. We will have grab-and-go sandwiches, salads, but not as extensive as we have in the city.
For 8 months, the owners of Whisk Baking Company have been driving back and forth to Old Forge. And though they've done this before, the seasons here are impacting business.
You have to be flexible when you're opening a business and understand that at certain points of the year, you're not going to be able to move certain products and vice versa.
Though the location comes with difficulties, the people living here make up for it.
There's been a huge buzz in the community here. It's been very overwhelming. You know, we get calls every day.
Many of those calls coming from locals who recognize the store as the old Nathan's Adirondack Bakery, closing down 4 years ago after the owner's passing.
People came here because of Al Nathan and his personality. You know, rough around the edges, but he had a big heart. And, you know, that's just the type of person he was, and we want to make sure that we incorporate that into this space as well.
Whisk will have small artifacts from Nathan's Bakery around the store, something his cousin is happy to hear after stopping by today.
To see the memories perpetuated by these gentlemen, it's kind of heartwarming, so we don't forget.
And while the stress of living up to what was can get to both owners, they're excited for what's to come.
There's obviously going to be hiccups with any new business, but we work through them, you know, and we learn and we just continue to grow.
The official store opening is this Friday at 6 a.m. in Old Forge. Julia LeBlanc, Eyewitness News, first at 10.
Tomorrow officially kicks off the summer season, and with that, Utica kicks off Summerfest. This is the first of what officials hope to become an annual event for the area, with live outdoor music, food trucks, and even some street performers. Starting tomorrow, this downtown event will go on from 4:30 to 8 p.m.
Music, there's going to be entertainment, there's going to be great food. It's going to be the revitalization of our great downtown once again, and it's going to be some of the young people that never witnessed what good old summer's time is about, and it's going to be some of the older people that are just rekindling their memories of how great it is.
Summerfest will run through Saturday. It's a free event and open for families. And actually, the Eyewitness News team will be there tomorrow during the 6 o'clock newscast. So stop by and say hello. We're going to wrap up Eyewitness News first at 10 right after this. Stay with us.
Eyewitness News First at 10 continues.
The Kate Spade brand is donating more than $1 million to suicide prevention causes in honor of the company's founder. It will be making donations to mental health awareness and suicide prevention causes. The first donation, $250,000, will go to the Crisis Text Line, a 24/7 service for people in crisis. The company says it will also match donations to the Crisis Text Line made between June 20th and June 29th. Such a sad story, but it's so amazing that they're turning a tragedy into something that will help other people.
For sure.
Rachel, how's the forecast looking?
All right, we are going to see sun continue through at least the end of the work week with temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Rain chances go up for the weekend with highs in the mid-70s. We're back into the 70s and 80s for next week, too.
Thank you, Rachel. That'll do it for us tonight. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News First at 10. Have a good night.